saw U.S. bankruptcies at the highest rate since Trump's last presidency. We see the economy shuddering due to tariffs. We see vegetable prices going up 40%.
Why?
There are a bunch of different...
You know why?
PPI just said that vegetable price going up 40%.
Do you know why? I'm asking if you know why.
Not sure.
Storms, weather, droughts all over the world.
What about electricity prices going up 10%?
It has to be.
Do you know when Liberation Day
I think
tariff...
if you're going to throw out Donald Trump is responsible for vegetable price, you should come and know
Liberation
what's
Day
going on around
tariffs
the world.
only...
As you saw from the intro, this is some of the problems that I have with the left, right? Now, I want to talk more on the commentary space for a little bit, because I've been finding myself, trying to find someone like on the left that I can use as almost like a model for what I wish the left to be. And I have not been able to find that. I'm sorry. Now, you can call me biased for that one. But I think the closest thing to that is Batia, but many liberals, right, who currently still vote for Democratic Party would not consider Batia a liberal. Even though Batia, which is this lady I always love to put up here, I'll put up here, she calls herself a MAGA leftist. And a lot of people who vote for Democrats don't believe in such a thing as a MAGA leftist. And I want to kind of focus on this because it's an interesting video, went viral. Scott Jennings embarrasses Adam Mockler for attempting to place blame on President Trump for the rise in vegetable costs. I think if you're going to throw out Donald Trump is responsible for vegetable prices, you should know what's going on around the world. And this is Michael. If you're going to go on national TV and try to make a point about the rise in cost of something, you better know what the hell you're talking about. This isn't your YouTube show, buddy. Don't bring up some random ish and not know the root cause. And this is exactly some of the problems that I noticed a lot with this guy's commentary. And I was trying to find a full clip online and I couldn't. And I found his YouTube channel apparently. And this guy got 1.8 million followers. Now, I don't really care about followers. To me, it's always about substance. But it's so interesting to me when I look at comment sections on things that I think are manipulative and dishonest. And the Gen Z like political influencer space has that in spades. Like, this is one of the reasons why I say that Harrison supporters, Democratic supporters themselves are the biggest reason why people like me gets pushed to the Republican Party. Because I always feel like these people are always trying to manipulate you into something that's not necessarily true. It's very surface level stuff. And you're going to see examples of this as I go through his video, because I don't want to be accused of editing his stuff. But I'm going to react to his video directly. But before then, I want to highlight some of the problems that I see with the left-wing Gen Z space is that they have a reputation for independents such as myself, especially right-leaning independents such as myself, of being manipulative. I can't say that word for some reason. But I'll let, without further ado, I'll show you the clip and then we'll go into Adam's video.
All right, hey, I just want to be clear here. Republicans hate black people. MAGA hates black people, right? So if you're watching this and you're a black person, MAGA hates you.
Oh.
They hate you. They loathe you. They despise your existence.
Oh, but he wasn't done.
The millions of Americans that support the president we have today don't support them because of reason, don't support him because of fact, don't support him because of logic. They don't support him because of anything in alignment with reality. They support him out of hate and disdain for you, if you are a black person, right?
Okay, you know what this video screams? Let me manipulate these stupid-ass black people into continuing to vote for Democrats because we need their vote. And if you go back and remember what I've talked about, Democrats manipulate the racial issue to continue to get the black vote. And this is a perfect example of them doing it. Republicans, they hate you because your skin color, you know. You know that, right? You know they hate you because your skin color. Goofy behavior. It's just so morally bankrupt. The top reasons people voted for Donald Trump had nothing to do with hating black people. It was about the economy, it was about inflation and immigration. Act like white people stay up at night thinking about how can we keep these black people down. White people, generally speaking, are not worried about black people. They're worried about working their job, feeding their family, taking care of their kids, getting their kids where they need to be. They're worried about living their life. They're not out here just hating black people for the sake of black people being black. But reality doesn't matter. Facts don't matter because we have a narrative to push and we need to emotionally manipulate these idiotic black people so we can make sure we keep their vote.
So that's another one of these Gen Z influencers. I don't care about their names. I care about the substance of their arguments. And he has a video, I turned CNN panel to chaos on live TV. Now, The reason I'm reacting to this video is because I couldn't find a full clip anywhere else, right? So I'm gonna react to his video, see his commentary here, and I kind of want to point out some things that I don't believe is fully factual. I feel like he's just crafting a narrative with data points, and I want to give an example and of me try to be as balanced and fair as I can with this commentary. But a lot of this stuff is what turns me off about liberals and why I don't follow a lot of liberal influencers.
Here are the facts. When you ask the residents that Trump is claiming to help, they say that they oppose it at a 79% rate. 61% of them feel less safe. When you ask them what they care about the most, it's not homicides, it's not carjackings, it's Trump's occupation of D.C. So the question then becomes,
Now,
who are we helping?
Now, this is a political point, right? He's, from all the given data, he's right? But also, I see another data set where they said 91% of black women feel unsafe in DC, right? This is a political question you're asking. Okay, you're asking, hey, how you feel about Trump's thing? You're asking a group of people where a District of Columbia, how much of them voted for Democrats? 93% of them. So I could infer based on I could say your methodology for that polling is flawed because you're asking a question, a political question. Hey, Trump's involvement in something, we all know liberals, minute Trump's involved in something, blind opposition. Or we're concerned about Trump's occupation of this. But if you frame the question a different way, hey, do you feel unsafe in DC? There's polls showing that, yeah, 91% of black women, 91% of residents feel unsafe in Washington, D.C. But you're spinning it for another point because the methodology is flawed.
Who are we helping here? The idea that public policy isn't meant to serve the public in D.C. is absolutely absurd when Trump was claiming he was helping the public. So the question that I then want to ask is, why don't we mobilize the National Guard to the 8 out of 10 red states that are the highest homicide states? If this
fallacy, he just lied to you. It's true, 8 out of 10, but we have there's more red states than blue states. That's one fact. And if I ask a clarifying question, and this is where liberals get in trouble for, and this is where many people criticize this Adam Mockler kid as, hey, if you're going to make a statement, make sure you know what's the root cause of this. What is the root cause of 8 out of 10 red states having the highest rate of crime? From cities. Okay, but a lot of these cities are managed by Democrats. There you go, managed by Democrats. A lot of these cities are managed by Democrats. If you look at the proportion of crime where it happens in these red states, you'll find a lot of them are from Democratic cities managed by Democrats. And Tennessee's taking your advice, bro. Tennessee is allowing, like Memphis, Tennessee is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Memphis is a blue district, I think, if I remember correctly. It's a blue district. It's a blue city, right? Managed by a Democrat, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. This is not my state. But it goes into show is there's like superficial narratives that he's spewing here to mislead people. And then when I do my research and I find out, hey, the data, when I look through it, it doesn't lead me to the same conclusion you are. I in my head, I automatically label you as manipulative and distrustful. I can't trust you. And this is how people like Adam get the reputation that they do in middle America. But I digress. Let's continue.
increases crime, and that's sufficient enough to mobilize the National Guard against the explicit will of the people of D.C., why is the National Guard not marching through the streets?
The law, he was already quoted.
I'm not talking about the law.
Do you see really that this trolling of Trump and social media, which is doing gangbusters for Gavin Newsom's social media accounts, what's the pathway to actually bringing voters back to the Democratic Party? Because the internet is not real life. That is the truth. And I'm not sure I'm seeing Democrats understanding that.
Well, there's two parts to it. First, you have to drive the attention, then you drive the narrative. So right now, he's getting the attention piece in the attention economy, and he's doing it quite well. He's getting millions of views. I also don't agree that Obama's twisting himself in pretzels. I think it's a completely logical statement. Norms in a democracy work a lot like consent. You can't have meaningful consent when only one side is engaging in that, and you can't have meaningful norms when one side is engaging. So when Obama...
So if I take your argument, right, the liberal... right, the left was pushing for censorship in 2008, or like when Twitter pre-Elon Musk. This is the same arguments conservatives were saying. Hey, you can't have really a pure political system if dissent is not able to openly express their concerns with the current establishment. Leftists didn't care. They wanted to censor people. They wanted to remove people. They wanted people to lose their livelihood because you said something that they didn't like women can't be men and men can't be women. Transgender women, it's a mental illness, right? When you say all this stuff, they get offended and say, because you offended me, you should lose your livelihood. You should lose your right to speak. This is what the left was pushing. But all of a sudden now, because they know they got outflanked by the Republicans, the right-wingers online, because of the fact that the right couldn't openly speak about this in their schools, where they go to college, where they go to work. Republicans, conservatives knew they couldn't speak out because they knew they could risk their livelihood. So what did conservatives end up doing? They end up going online. And then we got traction online. Then they became popular online. Then they became influential online. And the left don't seem to understand this. The left wants to get paid millions of dollars from mega donors to create their own Joe Rogan when they had Joe Rogan already. But it's the fact that they want conformity is what's driving a lot of people away from the Democratic Party, especially men. And this guy here, I want to point out his criticism. I want to criticize what he's saying here. This is not a good thing for Gavin Newsom. Number one is it's bringing attention to Gavin Newsom. That's a mistake on Gavin Newsom. It's going to bring attention to Gavin Newsom that he has one of the highest unemployment rates out of all the states, out of all the other state governors. It's going to bring attention to old clips of him, $24 billion into homelessness, and then you find out homelessness increased after he spent $24 billion of California's money. The high-speed rails, and how he spent billions of taxpayer dollars on infrastructure to build it, and it never got built. You think Gavin Newsom will benefit from all that attention from a national point of view? It may help you, Democrat. It may help you, leftist, to vote for him because he's doing some superficial, blind opposition to Donald Trump. But what is the substance? As a voter, I don't care about this partisanship-ish. What is the result that he's generating? You want attention to that? I don't think so. But superficial thinkers, they want to focus on superficial things. Who cares if he's getting attention? He's trying to drive a narrative, and therefore the right can counter narrative off of his narrative. Like when he tried to blame the illegal driver situation on Donald Trump's feet. Then Donald Trump was able to respond based on that narrative. So they don't understand that the narrative can be countered. And if the narrative is based on a soft, weak foundation, which I believe many narratives that Gavin Newsom is spewing is, you open yourself up to even bigger scrutiny, even bigger negativity. Because right now, Gavin Newsom is not popular amongst the other governors. He's not popular than Donald Trump. Gavin Newsom is not popular than Donald Trump. I know he's trying to troll with Donald Trump's tactics, but Democratic Party are hemorrhaging voters. Adam Mockler, he can't deny that. So all this conversation just becomes a game of narratives. And that's kind of what I'm tired of. I'm tired of politics being about what narrative can you drive? What perspective can you drive? How about what is more effective to solve the problems that Americans are facing? These social issues, these cultural issues, is this the correct path? Or is there something better out there? And both ideological camps can debate that. But this is where I get lost in this political sauce here. Is that's all they want. All they want to drive is narratives. And I don't care for narratives. I don't care for political rhetoric to a degree. But I digress. Let's continue.
Says we're okay with temporary redistricting. That's what it is. Temporary redistricting, proportional to what Texas is doing. I don't think that's very hypocritical. But when it comes to Newsom, get the attention, drive the narrative. That's what Democrats should do.
I think the Democrats are hemorrhaging voters because they've chosen all the wrong constituencies. They seem to care more about illegal aliens than American citizens, violent criminals than law-abiding citizens, and the Palestinian flag. Violent criminals than law-abiding citizens, and the Palestinian flag more than the American flag.
That is not true, and that is
when you take those positions on things like that, people tend to run to the other party. And
is there one mainstream Democrat that said he likes illegal immigrants over?
And you know that's not necessarily
Chris Van Hollen. There's one.
He said that? Chris Van Hollen did not say that.
He went and had margaritas at my house.
He met with Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, who was brought back to the United States. The administration conceded that he was sent there wrongfully, so Chris Van Hollen...
I mean, if you want to keep going down this road...
All right, Alencia.
Narrative. Maryland man, narrative. How you're a Maryland man, but you're not from Maryland. Make it make sense. It's like saying I'm from Chicago, but I was born and raised and lived all my life in Florida. Make that make sense. Oh, I visited Chicago once. I stayed in Chicago for 3 months. All of a sudden, I'm a Chicago man. Make it make sense. But this is the kind of the analysis that I think is very flawed because the whole purpose isn't to it's not for clarity, right? Because it operates in vagueness. Look at all the chaos that Scott Jennings couldn't even finish his point before these guys started interjecting, and then he piles on. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not impressed. Honestly, I'm not impressed. I'm not. You got 1 point. I don't know how many followers, and this is it. This is all you got. Really? And you wonder why y'all lost the election. The David Pacmans of the world. You surprised? Oh, 71% of ICE detainees don't have a criminal record. Are they illegal? Yes, but they don't have a criminal. It don't matter. Deport them. Majority of Americans want these people deported. I don't know, man. I don't see it. Can you guys tell me what's the appeal to this guy? I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get hate from liberals for talking about this, but this is a problem that I notice in their circles, bro. This is why this is why you lose young men, bro. Because young men will look through your stuff or your stick here when you saying something and go like something about this guy. I don't trust it. I don't trust what he's pushing out here.
You claim that Democrats like crime.
Hold on. As someone who does a lot of messaging in the Democratic Party, we do have a messaging issue. But the real thing here is that we have to go to these voters and talk to them about the pain that they are feeling before we bring the policy solution. Because we do have the policy solution. We just have to figure out a better way of listening to our voters.
I don't agree. I don't think you guys have a policy solution because 57% of Americans say, hey, we support mass deportation. We want illegals out of here. And Democrats are resisting that because it conflicts with their political interests. These people, Democrats, want illegals in the country for political gain. It helps boost their census numbers. I just told you, California has 10 million illegals allegedly in their state. So if the census, what Trump is doing, and majority of Americans support the census only counting Americans, Democrats will lose 10 million people out of their census. That's going to hurt their House seats. That's going to hurt their number of congressional House seats allocated to them. That's fewer influence that California has on the federal government. You think that, so therefore you wouldn't think that Democrats have a political interest to keep illegals in the country, regardless if they commit a crime or not? And this is what the Republicans have highlighted about the Democratic Party, that they practice this fake virtue to disguise their political interest. And I think that's the number one reason I think a lot of people are moving away from the Democratic Party. Because you want to call Donald Trump a liar, but you guys are guilty, if not more guilty, than what you accuse Donald Trump of. And that's what a lot of middle America discovered about you liberals.
And I think we are in this crisis right now where we are forced to do that. And I do believe that Democrats can come back and gain these voters back.
So it goes off into some other stuff that I didn't really care for. I just wanted to, I already talked, I don't know, a long time on this video, but I wanted to just focus on the poll because the primary thing was this poll amongst DC residents, right? So they say, hey, the residents themselves, they don't want this, right? You said it yourself, Kenny, 93% of them voted for Democrats, but I believe it's a methodology error here. If you asking residents as politically incentivized to make their opposition look bad, I feel like this is something that is like a conditional response, something that they're supposed to say. But when you remove politics out of it, hey, do you feel unsafe in DC? You get a different response. Now I have two different data points telling me two different things. So who do I trust? What do I trust? Do I trust a poll where they named a political opposition in the polls? Hey, will Trump's federal takeover reduce violent crime? This is an opinion. This is a survey, right? Many people thought that Kamala Harris was going to win Iowa, according to some polls. And then you found out the reality. The reality is reality doesn't conform to people's perspectives or beliefs. So who cares if you were referencing a poll that says, will Trump's takeover reduce violent crime? That's an opinion. That's a survey. That's not data. And this is the facts that liberals love to use. Oh my God, majority of Americans believe that the economy is bad, right? But then when it works against them, right, with the Biden situation, for instance, Americans falsely believe that Biden's economy was bad. Then you want to argue against the opinion piece, argue against the survey data, and say how it's flawed for the perspective that Americans are having. And then when Scott Jennings come in, because in the video, Scott Jennings talk about these people don't know what they want, and they use it as a talking point to, oh, Scott Jennings, you don't care about what the residents of these peoples actually care about, actually want. Because as someone who's not in Washington, someone who's not associated with either party, I see this as nothing more than a political gamemanship done by the voters themselves. 93% of district, 93% voted for the Democrat in 2024, and you expect an honest answer involving the name of an opposition? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Flawed data. And this is why they have a flawed perspective. And this is why I'm not willing to really trust people on the left to a degree. Because they don't question their sources like that. They see it, oh, it validates a conclusion I want, and they just run with it. But I digress. I think I ranted enough about this. But this is some of the problems that I have in like the political debate discussion. But that's just me. It's not meant to attack the guy. It's just meant as criticism overall of this whole kind of debate and discussion. And I feel like as we get younger and younger, as more of these people become more prominent, I just feel like the level of debate is just going to devolve, honestly. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and perspective. Do you think I was fair in my criticism of the Adam Mockler and some of the ways I believe that he is just pushing a conclusion and just giving superficial data points to prove that conclusion? Do you agree with my criticism of him of that, or you disagree? I'd like to hear your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if it's on client. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.